What is going on, everybody? It's JetsCentral coming back with some breaking New York Jets news. All right, so acting owner, CEO, whatever, Christopher Johnson met with reporters and basically said that Adam Gase will not be fired in the middle of the season and he will not be fired in the offseason. Okay, I'm going to start the video off by saying I agree with Christopher when he says that Gase should not be fired in the middle of his first year. It's kind of like an unwritten rule, in football. In the middle of year one, even if you haven't won a game, it's just kind of it's just not a good look, right? To fire a guy in the middle of the season. Plus, you're putting a lot of unnecessary pressure onto the players, a lot of unnecessary pressure to the guy that would step in and be the interim head coach, whether it's a Greg Williams, whether it's a Jim Bob Cooter. I don't think Dowell Loggins is anywhere near capable of holding that position, so he's automatically out of the question. He's kind of labeled as the Gase puppet anyway, but really it would be between Jim Bob Cooter, if you want to lean offense, or Greg Williams. I would personally give it to Greg Williams. All right, he stepped in and actually did pretty well in that role a season ago with the Cleveland Browns. But nonetheless, I do think that we should let Adam Gase finish out the season, but I have an issue with keeping him around for the 2020 season. All right. Point number one, why come out and say this in the middle of week 10? What's the point? What is the purpose? Outside of showing Adam Gase and this coaching staff that the Jets, the ownership has their back, there's really no point to come out and say this. What's the benefit? What is the benefit? All right. And then number two, to come out this early and just to say, and I don't get me wrong, I love program building. I was a big advocate of Kyle Shanahan keeping his job. It's paying off pretty well. You take a look across the league, and a lot of the teams that win championships or that really have success across the league, Chiefs, Patriots, Saints, Steelers, there's a sense of stability. But you can make the argument, hey, those teams have the right guys in place. They have Andy Reid. They have a Sean Payton. They have a John Harbaugh. They have a Bill Belichick. Here's the thing. I don't think Adam Gase is the guy. We never did. We never believed that Adam Gase was the guy. It's been one negative thing after another. Immediately, as soon as he got hired, nobody was on board, all right? Because the Jets fans wanted Matt LaFleur. Look what he's doing in Green Bay. Tons of success, just like we predicted. We wanted Mike McCarthy, the number one coaching candidate right now. If the season were to end today, Mike McCarthy would probably be top three on a lot of teams. A lot of different teams' boards. We wanted him. He was available. We wanted Matt Rule, undefeated at Baylor, dominating the Big 12. Big matchup this week against Oklahoma. We wanted Matt Campbell, dominating at Iowa State with subpar talent, but he's getting them absolutely maximizing that team. We wanted all of these guys. But no, the Jets went and hired an underachiever in Adam Gase. He underachieved in Miami. He burned bridges with guys like Pouncey and guys like Jay Ajayi, guys like Jarvis Landry, guys like Ndamukong Suh, guys like Ryan Tannehill. Didn't win much at Miami. We bring him over to the New York Jets, and what are we doing? We are underachieving. We give him a top 5 running back in Le'Veon Bell. We give him a top 3 pick in Quinnen Williams. We give him a absolute star C.J. Mosley, but granted he's been hurt, so I don't really want to factor that into the conversation. We give him Sam Darnold and a couple improvements on the offensive line with Khalil, with Osemele. But we are so much worse with this team, with so much more talent. We give him Jamison Crowder. We give him a Brian Poole. Why are we so much worse? Why are we so much worse? That's the question I keep coming back to. And yes, Todd Bowles wasn't the answer. We know this. Extremely smart defensive mind, but he wasn't fit for the job in other areas, right? Developing a quarterback, clock and time management, halftime adjustments. There was a lot of question marks. There was a lot of red flags surrounding Todd Bowles, the Todd Bowles era as a whole. But at least he was able to, players wanted to play for the guy. At least we were competitive in games. At least we had some marquee wins. At least he had a 10-win season. At least we beat the Patriots a couple times. At least we were competitive in a few games. I mean, this season with Adam Gase, it's been nothing but negativity. I mean, nothing. There's been nothing but negativity. Whether you want to talk about the initial hire where nobody was on board, the weird press conference where he was showing psychopathic tendencies, what the hell was that? No, what was going on in that press conference? I mean, everybody knows the press conference thing. Whether it's getting blown out on primetime football, whether it's showing absolutely no fight against teams like the Eagles and the Patriots, Patriots twice for that matter, whether it's blowing a fourth quarter lead against Buffalo, whether it's losing to the winless Miami Dolphins. I mean, yeah, we beat the New York Giants. They're a bottom 5 team in the league. Yeah, we beat a banged up Dallas Cowboys team. Good win, but they didn't have their left tackle. They didn't have their right tackle. They didn't have Amari Cooper for the majority of the game. We're a 2-win football team. Right now, I think we're 2-7. And yes, we have an easier slate of games coming up, like the Redskins, like the Dolphins again, like the Bengals. But what warrants, what guarantees, what's the vision for this team? What's the vision? Because I believe, even though I don't think Todd Bowles was the answer, even though it was time for Rex Ryan to go, if we would have given a Jerome Bates, a Le'Veon Bell, if we would have given a guy in John Moore and a Jamison Crowder, if we would have given those staffs, those coaching staff, these players, I think we would have been a 7 and 8 to 9 win team, just like we all predicted the Jets to be going into this season. And not to mention, last season our schedule was absolutely brutal. This season we have a lot of winnable games on it, but we've looked absolutely horrendous. We've gotten worse. We have regressed. Sam Darnold has looked worse than last season. Keep this in mind as well. Sam Darnold was 21 or 22 last season, all right? Not ready to be the starter, with turnover issues in college, with a defensive-minded head coach, and he came in and was the starter from day one, with nothing on the team. Yes, I do like Robbie Anderson. Yes, I do like Quincy Enunwa, but overall, we had a below-average offensive line. We had a below-average running back stable. We had a below-average wide receiving core and a below-average tight end unit because Chris Herndon kind of emerged onto the scene late last season. Darnold looked better. With the defensive-minded head coach, with lesser players all around him. And the crazy thing is that the system that Jeremy Bates ran wasn't even like the best fit for Darnold either. I mean, this guy was coming in and he had some solid games. I mean, against the Houston Texans down the stretch, against the Green Bay Packers, against the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Darnold had flashes last season where you would look at the TV, look at your buddies, look at your family, look at your friends, and you would say, oh my God, did the Jets just find their guy? And of course, he had rookie mistakes, of course, like every rookie quarterback does. Every young quarterback has mistakes, let alone being 21, 22 years old. So the question that I have, the question that every Jets fan has right now is, going into year 2, he has pretty much a whole season under his belt to reflect off of. He has a whole season of film to review. All these different memories, all these different defenses that he's seen. He's played away. He's played home. He's played tough teams. He's played bad teams. He's played in cold games. He's played in warm games. He's played in a dome. He's played outside. After all of those experiences, after giving him a top 5 running back, after giving him a nice slot receiver, after giving him an offensive-minded head coach, after giving him some, even though it didn't really work out, some upgrades on the offensive line, one of the reasons why Kelechi Osemele didn't really work out was because of the relationship, I believe, between the team and him. Why are we so much worse? Why are we so much worse? I don't think Todd Bowles, and yes, there were some games under the Todd Bowles era that really got under my skin. Like the game in Denver a couple years ago where we gave up in the third quarter, where we were literally, I think, down by 13 points or 10 points in the third quarter, and we were just mailing it in. We were just handing it off, and then after the game, John Morton said that we were out of it at that point, which I don't like that attitude at all. Last season against the Buffalo Bills, where Matt Barkley came into MetLife Stadium and shredded us, absolutely shredded us, that was a pretty embarrassing loss as well. But the thing is, I can pretty much name every loss this season, and it's been just as bad. It's been just as humiliating, and I don't want to hear, oh, we have a backup quarterback playing, because the Pittsburgh Steelers look pretty good with their backup quarterback. The Jacksonville Jaguars look pretty good with their backup quarterback. The Carolina Panthers look pretty good with their backup quarterback. The New Orleans Saints were undefeated with their backup quarterback. Those teams didn't really make excuses. We did. We kept losing. We kept getting blown out. And yes, Bridgewater is way better than a Luke Falk. But how much better is Mason Rudolph? How much better is a 6th-round rookie, undersized quarterback in Gardner Minshew? How much better is he than a Luke Falk? All I want to be is competitive. All I want to do is have a chance to win these football games. But it's almost like immediately after the first play of the game, we are out of it. We are out of it at the coin toss. I mean, coming off a bye and just getting completely humiliated against Philly in Philadelphia. I mean, we had 2 weeks to prepare for that team. We had 2 weeks to prepare to set Luke Falk up for some sort of success. But here's the deal. Everybody keeps telling me, and by everybody, I mean the national sports media outlets, not you guys. Everybody keeps telling us that Adam Gase is the quarterback whisperer, and he worked wonders with Peyton Manning. And he worked wonders with Jay Cutler. Oh, he had his best year of his career under Adam Gase. But the facts, the reality is, with the New York Jets, the quarterbacks, Simeon, Falk, and Darnold, have all regressed. Because you go back and you look at some of the tape Simeon put on display in Denver, he was a capable quarterback. I loved watching Simeon play. He didn't have the best arm. He didn't have a big body like Josh Allen. He wasn't running around like Lamar Jackson. He isn't elusive like a Russell Wilson. He's a standard pocket passer. But you know what? Denver won games. Denver made it work. Even some of the tape back in Minnesota's preseason, a season ago, he was dropping dimes. I mean, this guy looked like a solid backup quarterback. I'm not saying Simeon's a top 10 guy, a top 15 guy, not in the least, but he's a guy that could come in and be solid. He looked like he forgot to play football with the Jets. Why is that? I don't know. So, Gase is going to be sticking around. And again, I'm all for program building. I like having a foundation. I like building through the draft. I like having a vision, a goal, and working towards it every single day, every single week. Taking it one snap at a time. Game planning correctly. Not giving up on your players. Not throwing people under the bus. Getting younger. Getting faster. Getting stronger. Getting mentally tougher. And understanding the game situations like clock management. When should we use timeouts? When should we use a challenge? When should we let it go to the 2-minute warning? When should we huddle up? When should we go into hurry up offense? How not to take a delay a game. So, the facts are, the Jets, under Todd Bowles, with absolutely nothing and a rookie quarterback, were better than the Adam Gase 2019 squad with Le'Veon Bell, the best player that the Jets have had in years, with a Crowder, with a Quinnen Williams, with a CJ Mosley. And look, are we 100% healthy across the board? Absolutely not. Williamson is out. Cashman is out. What's going on with the cornerback situation? We don't know. I mean, we got it's almost like next man up at the Jets cornerback position. I mean, this is brutal. Le'Veon Bell's been dinged up. Sam Darnold had mono. O-line has been banged up. But it's like, why? This is week 10. This is week 10 of the NFL regular season. But yet we still have, we don't even know who the offensive line is. Like, we should have had these questions answered in training camp, in preseason. I mean, this is what those days are in there for, to figure out what the heck is going on, to be prepared in situations. This is football. Yes, Williamson got hurt, and yes, Jordan Jenkins was hurt, and we had a couple people suspended, and Donald got mono. It's football. Is anybody feeling bad for us? Is the league going to just give us a couple wins because, hey, the Jets aren't playing, we're not 100% across the board? Look at the Chargers. They're hurt every single season. Their O-line is banged up every single season. Their wide receivers are banged up every single season. Melvin Gordon sat out this year. It's constant turnover with the Chargers. The league isn't just going to just start handing out W's and just feeling bad for the team. It's football. We got to make adjustments. We got to have a plan B. We have to have a plan C. We have to have a plan D. We have to have some sort of insurance policy, because we can't just go into the season thinking, okay, yeah, we're going to have an entirely healthy season and we're just going to move forward from there. Because it seemed to me when players started getting hurt, when things started happening, whether it's guys like Quincy Enunwa, he was a big piece of the offense, whether it's a Chris Herndon, when players started dipping out, getting hurt, getting suspended, what have you, it was like, what's hitting the fan. Nobody had any idea what was going on. It was just complete and utter mayhem, complete pandemonium. So, as the manager, as the leader, as the face of the team, I believe, and I'm getting a little stuffed up here, and I appreciate everybody that stuck around, because this is a 16-minute video. This is long as hell. I appreciate everybody, because this is long. I know it's brutal to listen to this. Also, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Is this the right move? I don't think so. Remember, we wanted McCarthy. We wanted Matt LaFleur. We wanted Matt Rule. We wanted Matt Campbell. Guess what? All of those guys are dominating the sport of football. The guy that we chose, Adam Gase, we're projected to have a top 3 pick. Again, with great players. We don't have the best player. We don't have the best team. We're not the best team. We're not a top 3 team. We're not a top 5 team, roster-wise. But this roster is a lot better than 2 and 7. I can tell you that. I can tell you that for sure. So I'll leave it there. Gase will be sticking around for next season. And that's that. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, go Jets.